Is everything predetermined, or is there any scope for free will in our lives? Let's take a look at it this from Vedic astrology point of view. So every day we see, and hear so many things about a transition happening somewhere, a particular planet moving into a certain sign, new moons, old moons, and based on that, everybody tells us if it's going to be good or bad. Now, the quest today is to understand if there, or to figure out if there is any free will. Because what it seems is like when somebody tells you, okay, let's suppose Sun has entered into the sign of Libra, which is its sign of debilitation, would mean that it's not going to be a very good time for people, who have their Sun in Libra, or generally it's not a good time because Sun has fallen down. So does this mean that everything is doomed? Everything is like just like end of the world for everything, because it's going to be a very difficult transition. So what is going to happen now? Is there any control that we have over this situation? Is there anything that we can contribute to make this situation a little bit easy for us? Well, Vedic astrology actually looks at the time or the transitions with this idea that you have been given free will, and what do you do with that? The idea of letting you know that there is a particular transition happening is not to scare you, or is also not to tell you, the future. It's basically to prepare you. It's basically for you to decide and for you to make a more aware, a more conscious choice. Because in the end, everything that you are is based on the kind of choices that we make. You know, so astrology is also not any different from that. It is also trying to align our choices with the timeline in which we are. So if the timeline says that a particular planet is getting debilitated, or it's like a negative timeline, or it's a timeline where the graph is going down, so it does not mean that it's the end of the world. It basically means that this is an opportunity for you to be more careful, more aware, more conscious with your choices that you're going to make, especially during this time period, because this time period indicates challenges. That is how we use astrology, or that is how it should be used, and not by worrying ourselves to death thinking that, oh my god, I have entered into a bad timeline, or why is it not changing, because I feel like, I have also met a lot of people who say that I feel like perpetually I have been in a bad time. Time is just time. It has no guna. It has no quality. Time is just very neutral. The quality is based on our actions. It's based on our choices. So if we are not making good choices, then certainly we feel as if we are in a bad timeline. Otherwise, everybody else on this planet is actually in the same timeline. The only difference in their life is because of the choices that they are making. So maybe today, why don't you ask yourself, what kind of choices are you making? And in the recent past, what was your most effective choice, and what was not a very good choice? Maybe that will help you see your timeline, understand your timeline even better. In Vedic astrology, we can actually, it's a magical science, and we can actually calculate the amount of free will a person has, or amount of free will that a person can practice, can bring into their life. And based on that, a lot of times we come across that two brothers born in the same house have different lives. It's because of the choices that they were making. They had the same kind of environment, they had the same kind of tools, same kind of opportunities, but they're different just because of the choices that they were making with those opportunities that they had. So if you would like to know the areas where you have been blessed with free will, and the areas where you can work upon and improve, so that you make more aware, more alert, more conscious choices, then you may connect connect with me for a reading, for an in-depth reading to understand your birth horoscope and to understand how the balance of energies in your horoscope. I think this should be enough for today. Namaste.